Hello, everybody. Happy Passover. How is everybody doing today? Please let me know. Are you all ready to hear me ramble on about this very strange Jewish holiday and maybe sort of experience some of it yourself? Because awesome. So I started a little early just because I'm like, whatever, I'm eating and I'm like, on here anyway. Eating is, by the way, a very big deal in Jewish holidays. And there's like a very strict order in which everything needs to be eaten, which I am totally violating right now because tonight is on actually the seder night. So it's like, okay, that's like allowed. Which I'm totally. There is a unicorn on my shoulder. Thank you for noticing. This is my birthday unicorn. Her name is Achlama, which means amethyst in Hebrew, but also comes from the Hebrew root, which means healing. So, guys love double entendres, right? So, yeah. Yay, I do too. So yes, very shiny, very holographic. If you see, you can see up close that she is very rainbow, very shiny, and a beautiful silver corn and pink hair. And she is also, in fact, very soft. I give her 11 out of 10 for softness. So that is going to be my writing companion for tonight. I guess I'm going to wait a couple more minutes before I start the actual Passover shenanigans because I know some people wanted to be here to hear about that stuff. So let's see who's here so far because there's like a lot of you. Cordy, did you disappear? Because that was like 2.5 hours ago. I appreciate this very much. I feel very important and supported. That's really awesome. I would not know the first thing about buying Manischewitz. I am an outsider. Yes, I am an Israeli Jew, and I'm gonna let you in on a secret as long as you don't tell anybody. This, you know what? No, I'm not gonna spill the secret yet. I will reveal it later on in the stream as incentive for you to stay here and write and be productive. You're gonna have to wait, and I'll reveal in like an hour what the secret is about the glass of wine. Okay, so yeah, I started a minute or two early. Hello, Key. I hope you guys are still here, people who were commenting on the stream at 6:15 this afternoon, because you have no life, just like me. Eva. Oh, Eva, you said you were going to be a little late. Destiny. Hello, girly. I saw you earlier today, right? In someone else's stream. Hey, that's me. Yes, this is the time. I realized this was a little bit inaccurate, but this is the time to prepare yourself one glass and a bottle of wine, which you will repeatedly fill. But do not drink it yet, because as I said, there are very strict rules. Okay. Either one is fine. Both, obviously, is the optimal solution. Hello, Elizabeth. And hello, Mark. And hello, Jeannie. And Yaza. Wow, this is like a really great crowd. Yes, if you get a note from a rabbi, you can, yes, I'm sure there are, like exceptions that allow for that because alcohol is like a huge part of the Jewish tradition. And so I'm sure there are loopholes that allow for people who either can't afford it or can't drink it for medical or addictive reasons to, do something else instead. Grape juice is also fine. So I guess, by some reach. And it's and I do not appreciate being called out like this. Okay. Did I say hello to everybody? Yes, it's all right. That's okay. All right, so it's now 8:30. So first of all, happy Passover. And I'm going to start this off by saying, so Passover is probably the biggest Jewish holiday, which might surprise everyone who's only ever heard of Hanukkah, but it is true. Hanukkah is a minor holiday, and Passover is probably the most widely celebrated holiday by like Jews all over the world. So it's celebrated by everyone from the extremely Orthodox, that is so far Orthodox that they're going off the screen in my hand, and the extremely secular who don't really know anything about Judaism Jews. So like that entire spectrum, pretty much everyone celebrates Passover. And it starts on the full moon in the month of Nisan. The Jewish calendar is a lunar calendar because pagan origins. Don't tell anybody I said that. But it is. Starts on the eve of the full moon. and it lasts for 7 days, but 8 in America as a punishment for not being in Israel. Never mind. Well, that's what we say. It's a punishment. It's not officially a punishment. We just like to joke that it is. So it's a 7-day long holiday, and the seder is done in most places on the first night. And it is such a long ordeal. It is such a long and elaborate tradition that we have, I kid you not, a playbook that has been digitized and uploaded to the internet for accessibility matters. So this over here, this screen that I'm sharing right now is the Passover Haggadah. The Passover Haggadah, courtesy of Sefaria.org, which is an awesome website which basically like hosts all of the Jewish scriptures. Hey, Dana. And it is so we have a playbook, and everybody at the table like gets a copy of it. And of course we invite all of our friends and family that we don't ever see at all. So, traditionally you have probably like 20 people sitting around your table, and it's like a big freaking deal. It's a really, really big deal. And everyone gets a copy of the playbook, and it's such a long and detailed playbook that there are kids versions, and like the other nominations that have like diluted the text and made it easier to understand. And so there are like shortened versions and kids versions. And we start off by, I shit you not, singing the table of contents. Isn't Judaism awesome? So this is the table of contents, and we have a song, and it goes like this. Kadesh. Wait, let me just make that a little bigger so you can see it. Can you see it? Can you sort of read it? Okay, it's like this. Kadesh urchatz karpas yachatz magid rachza motzi matzah. That's matzah that you recognize. Maror korech shulchan orech tzafun barech halel nirtzah. And then we start doing the actual thing. So the first step, and this is where I hope everyone has prepared their first glass of wine, is almost every like sacred Jewish tradition begins with pouring a glass of wine and then blessing the sanctity of the day. So you pour the first cup of wine, we bless the wine, and then we drink the first cup. And on Passover, which is the festival of our freedom, we recline when we drink our wine. So we don't just drink wine, we drink wine leaning over. And there's, oh no, the thingy is blocking the unicorn from view. We can't have that. There we go, unicorn. Okay. So, right? I mean, what a weird freaking religion this is. So we drink the wine leaning over, and you're supposed to lean towards the left. I don't know why, but there was one like explanation I heard when I was a kid that maybe it's so that we can like, you're supposed to like lean to the left for the entire process, and then maybe theoretically it's so you can eat with your right hand. But then like, what about left-handed people? I don't know, whatever. So everybody, please praise the Lord and drink your first cup of wine. Oh, and you have to drink most of the cup, which is why I brought a tiny cup. I'm not kidding about this. How is it only 8:36? I feel like I've been ranting for like an hour. Yes, I did. But let me tell you something. Years and years and years of experience at Passover seders have taught me. Oh, lean, you're correct. You're correct. Leaning to the left. We actually like set the table with pillows on people's chairs so they can like recline comfortably. Reclining is like a symbol of our freedom, because if you're in a country that's in an emergency state or a state of war, you're like sitting up straight and tense. So if you're reclining, you know, slaves don't get to recline. They have to sit up straight. So free people get to drink wine. That is exactly right. I'm just not sure why we lean to the left. I know why we recline, but like, why do we lean to the left? You know, I mean, is it to you know, encourage our like socialist? I don't know where I was going with that. Some type of failed political joke, but this is actually correct. We are the Twin Tails. I don't know if I've seen you here on my channel before, but welcome. And cool to have a fellow Jew in the chat. Still working on this. Okay, you can leave a little bit in. That's fine. All right. Hey, it's BBB. BBB, you are just in time. We are now drinking our first cup of wine. Now, and this is very important. Do not refill your glass yet, because there is a place in the playbook that will tell you when to do that. Come on, where is it? Oh no! Oh no, it just, wait. Crap. Well, this version doesn't say, but in most versions, it does actually, there's like an instruction right around here that says, pour the second cup of wine. Maybe I'm just not properly remembering where it is. Anyway, okay, now the second step. The second step of the Passover seder. So we pour the wine, we bless the wine. Yes, happy Passover. Yeah, no, hi Becca, awesome. I'm really glad you made it here. It is always adult Passover. That's the funny thing. But like, the truth is, no, like, kids are a huge part of the tradition. It's like and not only are they a part of the scriptures, they're also like it's an essential, it's like engaging the kids in the Passover Seder is an essential and integral element of holding a Passover Seder. And you will see this. But let's get through the steps because we have a long night. So, Kadesh is blessing the wine. It comes from the Hebrew word to sanctify. Orchatz means to wash your hands, which is a very good thing to do during this time because we want to wash our hands so we don't get the corona. So, wash your hands. Now, there were a lot of joke memes that went around on Passover that suggested instead of just doing Kadesh, Urchatz, Karpas like this, you do Kadesh, Urchatz, Karpas, go back to Urchatz, Yachatz, Urchatz, Magid, Urchatz again. Anyway, doing Urchatz between every one of the stages, which is a very funny joke. It is, I promise you. Okay, and I'll get through the next 2 stages, and then we will start on a sprint. So we washed our hands. We washed our hands, and we do not say a blessing. We just wash our hands. And sometimes, like, there'll be someone who will take like a pitcher and a bowl and walk around the table and like pour the water on the tips of everyone's fingers, and then someone else will carry a towel and we'll just walk around the table doing that. It's kind of fun, you know, because then you don't have to get up unless you're the one pouring the water. All right, step 3, karpas. Karpas is an ancient Greek word that I do not know what it means. Hold on. What did, oh, mac and cheese. I hope those noodles are kosher for Passover because this is a chametz-free stream. Okay, I'm definitely kidding, but we will get to that later. Okay. The only post regarding Passover I've ever seen other than your own was someone reminding people not to have a seder. What? Cultural appropriation? You know, this is very interesting. Can you elaborate on this? If they weren't Jewish. Oh. Can you elaborate a little bit on this? I'm not entirely sure what you mean by that. Okay. Please don't infect us all. Okay, that will, please don't. Okay, I don't even want my computer to get a virus. So, okay. Step 3, karpas, the ancient Greek word for some type of vegetable, which I am unsure about. We take some kind of a vegetable, something that has grown out of the ground. So traditionally, a lot of people use like parsley or some kind of herb, or some people use celery sticks or boiled potatoes, and we dip it into a bowl of salt water. I have not prepared these props because I did not feel like it, and we already did this on Wednesday. So we take the green herb, we dip it into the bowl of salt water, and we eat it. And the salt water symbolizes the tears of our ancestors who were enslaved for 400 years by the Egyptians. That is the symbolism of karpas. Now, fun hack, because it takes so long. I don't know if I mentioned this, but when we looked at the table of contents, I didn't tell you which one of these is eating dinner. And let's just tell you where it is, okay? No. This one. Shulchan orech means setting the table, and this is where we eat dinner. And this, getting to that can be 2 to 3 hours easy. So it is advised to eat something before you start the seder, and don't expect to get to dinner very soon. And also, so here's a fun hack to do during karpas is once you eat the karpas, you can eat basically anything that's a vegetable. And so people can serve, like, you can actually serve entire salad courses. And so we like eat a lot of boiled potatoes and stuff. No, okay, just once. Or if you are in the diaspora, some people do it twice, either the first day and the second day, or the first day and the last day. But in Israel, traditionally, we only do it on the first night. Thank the freaking Lord, because it can last for hours. I mean, we have, in my family, it is not uncommon for us to start the seder at 7 p.m. and end it at 1 o'clock in the morning. So, yeah. And on that note, it is time for our first writing sprint. clicked the wrong button. I'm here. I'm still here. Okay. So I'm here. Okay. Let's do the writing. Is everybody ready? On your marks. Get set and go. you, I got 70 words, 70 entire whole words. The truth is, I was eating for most of that sprint. But I did get words. I ended a scene, and then it was like the end of the scene. And then I spent the rest of the sprint debating which POV I was going to write the next scene in, which was, in the end I decided Amalia, but it took a long time to get there. So, all right, we got 336 from Eva. Excellent. We have 539 from Cordy. Had to go back in my chapters to figure out some stuff. I did the same thing. About 150 words. That's double what I got. So excellent. Pantsing a new story. Yeah, well, I mean, the truth is the same about planning. I mean, will the words stay? Probably not. Yeah, probably not. 304 words. Yeah, no, I love it when it surprises you, but like also sometimes that can mess things up for the plot, Getting closer to ironing out what to write for the end of Act 3. Excellent. Good job. Good job, everybody. So we have a lot of work to do. So without further ado, I love listening to my own book. I made recordings of myself, and I just love it. I love it. It helps me kind of get into the mindset of a reader, and then I can figure out what was missing in certain places, and so what I have to go back and then add. So I find that to be pretty cool. So let's see. Where were we? Pantsing Passover. That's very funny. Okay, so we did the first 3 steps. We blessed the wine, we washed our hands, and we dipped the parsley into our ancestors' tears. Now, Yachats, stage 4 is a weird ass tradition where honestly I don't really know what the symbolism is of it or the purpose of it, but here's what we do. On the table we have 3 of these in a dish. Who knows what this is? Does anybody know what this is? Anyway, we have 3 of them stacked, usually one on top of the other because they are flat. And we take the middle one out of the 3 and we split it in half, and then yes, very good. And we split it in half, and the bigger half goes into a bag and is put aside for later. Now, various traditions have been that is an excellent question. We will discuss this once we get to the matzah part of the seder. So traditionally, there have been a lot of different traditions that have developed, and around this this tradition, this part where we leave the halved matzah for later. The half of the matzah is supposed to symbolize the Passover sacrifice that we used to do in the temple back when, it was like socially acceptable to sacrifice animals in religious services. And it was like a big deal. This was like the delicacy. They would barbecue it, and they would like never eat barbecued food. And so having the barbecued food was a really big deal. And yes, we do in fact call it the afikomen, which is an ancient Greek word for after dinner entertainment. Not dessert, as many people do think. But we set it aside, and usually there's some kind of fancy bag, or it's wrapped in a napkin or something. And then, depending on where you are in the world, either the head of household hides it somewhere, and then we make a game out of the kids trying to find it, and then they get some kind of reward for finding it. Or, as we do often in Israel, the head of household hides it, and then the kids attempt to steal it and re-hide it in a different location, and then bargain for it for something if the head of household wants it back, which they do because they cannot finish the Passover seder without it. So it turns into this, big bartering thing where the kids are like, well, we want tickets to Disneyland, and the head of household is like, no, that's not happening. So the kids are like, okay, we want a new bike. So the guy's like, okay, fine, deal, give me the afikomen, and that can be really fun. And growing up in my grandmother's household, I attended some seders in this very room, which is in fact a fancy dining room, because I live in an old lady house. And my grandmother would hide the afikomen, and every single year, yes, are you surprised by this? Every single year, she hid the afikomen in the same location. She has a piano bench that opens up so you can keep the music books inside the piano bench. And every single year, without fail, my Nana's afikomen was in the piano bench. And she fooled us a couple times, but then we grew up enough to remember where it was every year. So anyway, so that's that. You put the small half back into between the two other sheets of matzah. You cover the matzah. That's a whole different story. We traditionally cover our bread for all sorts of reasons before we eat it. And then we get to the fun part. By the fun part, of course, I mean the boring part. It really depends on where you are, but Magid is the part where we right? Does she hide the afikomen in it every single year? Because that would not surprise me in the slightest. So Magid is the part where we tell the story of the Exodus from slavery, from Egypt. And that's at least what we tell ourselves. That's what we tell ourselves that we're doing. The truth is, the script of the Haggadah is pretty iffy. It doesn't really explicitly cover the story of the Exodus, not at least in the way that we're used to thinking about it. And it covers a whole bunch of stuff which is definitely not part of the Exodus story and is kind of like just texts that the rabbis were sitting around in this one dude's living room and putting it together during the time when the Romans were, being baddies in the land of Israel, and they thought it was important, so they were like, yeah, put that text in. So, unfortunately, we do not just watch The Prince of Egypt, because the first day of Passover is a sacred day, so no TV or phones or stuff. That would be an excellent suggestion, though. So, yeah. Sometimes the text is in Aramaic, as you can see here. This is not Hebrew. I know it looks like Hebrew, but do not be fooled by the Assyrian alphabet. That is Aramaic on the screen. And I'm trying to, okay. So let's look at a couple of really interesting things that we do talk about. First of all, the 4 questions. This is the part where we talk about engaging the kids. So there is this, as soon as we say this one Aramaic bit about where we invite all of the, we open our house, we open our homes to anyone who doesn't have a home. We extend our tables and we invite anyone who is hungry, all who are hungry, to come and eat with us, and all who don't have anywhere to celebrate the Passover to come and celebrate with us, which is, a beautiful tradition and a really beautiful sentiment. And some people actually traditionally physically go to the door and shout it outside. So because Jews, we take shit literally. Then it was edited by a committee, yes, 2,000 years ago, but yes. Then we have the 4 questions. The youngest child or the youngest person present. So, obviously then there are a lot of jokes about who's the youngest person. And sometimes the youngest person is 29 years old. But this is the kid's job. The youngest person present at the seder traditionally asks these 4 questions, and there's a melody that everybody knows, and 3-year-olds will like learn it in school and learn it in preschool and like spend a month rehearsing it. It's true. It's so true. Oh my god. So yes, these little tiny pipsqueaks will learn this melody in preschool and then prepare and practice for standing up on the chair in front of all of their judgy relatives and singing this song where they ask the 4 questions, which begins with, why is this night different from all other nights? Basically, what is going on, guys? Why is dinner so weird? What is this stuff? Why aren't we eating bread tonight? Why are there bitter herbs on the table? Why are you guys dipping things in stuff? Because that's not usually a tradition that we do at all. And why is everybody reclining? Those are the 4 questions. And then we give them answers, which are basically, it all goes way back, such a long time back. Way back, we use cookies. You better use kosher for Passover cookies, Safaria. This tradition goes back to the time when we were slaves, and we were in a hurry. Basically, we were slaves. Then we cried out. We were slaves. Our life was really hard. We cried out to God. God sent us a savior, and the savior went to Pharaoh, but Pharaoh said we couldn't leave. So then God sent the 10 plagues, and then Pharaoh was like, okay, fine, get the fuck out of here. And we were like, you know what? We're going to go in a rush. Moses was like, surprise, we're leaving. So we all went really, really, really fast, and we didn't have any time to let our bread rise. And this is the result. Now, for anybody who bakes bread today, you know that letting the bread rise is not always such a big deal. But remember that in like 1,000 or 2,000, approximately 1,500 BC, they didn't have instant yeast. So letting the bread rise was quite a big deal because everything was made from sourdough starters, and they only had like natural yeast and the stuff from the air. So bread rising actually took a couple days. So they didn't have that time, because as soon as Pharaoh said leave, Pharaoh was like, you know what? I changed my mind. And Pharaoh had an army. And so he starts chasing them. And now we have to eat cardboard. Children. So yeah, as I said, this is like part, we're going to do another sprint in 1 minute. This is part engaging the kids is a really integral part of the Seder. And so because the 4 questions are like what the kids do, then it has become this, it literally can take days. So asking questions and encouraging kids to ask questions has become this big thing. So for example, sometimes at Seders at my parents' house, my dad would have a big, I'm off screen, you can see me pretending to hold a bag of candy. My dad would have a bag of gummy worms or gummy bears or something. Gummy candy is a widely unacknowledged tradition of Passover that like we all do it, but we don't know why. And then if anybody had a question, they would get a gummy bear. So you would like try to ask a question. So you got a gummy bear, and I would like pipe up, why are there 4 sons and not 4 daughters? Yay, good question, Liora. I get to take a gummy bear, so like that's part of Passover. Anyway, more to come. And exactly, that's the point. That is a very interesting point, and we will come back to it as soon as I get this writing timer, as soon as we finish another sprint. Do you want to do 15, 20? I want to do 20, I think, because I want to actually get some writing done. As much as I enjoy ranting about Jewy things, and you all know I love it. So let us write. Let my people write. Interesting. Okay. How did everybody do? My timer not go off yet? Okay, well, I am, oh no, wait, I can count without waiting for that thing to pop up. So let's see. I got 265 words. I went back to one of my maps to look up where somebody's house was, and that took a while because I had to find it, but anyway. But I got 265 words, which is awesome. Dude, nice. Okay, so while everybody is reporting back on their various successes, 444, awesome. That is a cool number. I just want you to notice that I added this little banner ticker at the bottom here, and bonus points for anyone who asks a question. So we have our first question. What genre do you write? Well, I'm so glad you asked. You get a gummy bear. So I write urban fantasy and spiritual fiction. And the spiritual fiction part is a little bit of a kind of a murky genre, because the truth is I have these short stories that don't really fit into any obvious type of category, but I don't know what else to call them except for like midrash, I guess. But midrash is not an official literary genre, so, but yeah. So I write urban fantasy. My book that I'm working on right now is Witches and Demons and Their Struggles to smash the patriarchy in a desert city, which is based on a real city in modern Israel. But yeah, And they're almost all gay. Not, I mean, you know, the various other types of gay. Okay, so where were we in the Passover thing? So we were getting the kids to ask questions and giving them gummy bears when they asked. Right. So 150 words. Yeah, you know what? Word after word after word, that's how the book gets written, right? Who said that? One word at a time. I don't know. Some famous author said word after word after word, and then the book gets written. So good job. Awesome. So let's go back to where I was in the Magid part, which is the really, really long part of the Seder. And this specific section of the Seder can go on for an hour and a half easy. Anyway, we read all these stories about the rabbis and texts that are a little bit obscure and, you know, we don't really get it. But this is a really fun part. This part, which talks about the 4 sons, basically, it comes from the fact that the Holy Scriptures mention how to teach your children about Passover for 4 different times. And each time it's said in a slightly different way. So it's like, teach your children about Passover. And then that concept is repeated in 4 different locations, and each time it's worded a little bit of a different way. So the rabbis, who, as I said, were sitting around in Rabbi Akiva's living room in Bnei Brak during the Roman Empire, putting together this script, were like, so why does it tell us this 4 different ways? Well, basically the theory that they came up with was that it was addressing 4 different children. And so the idea of this passage, in any way you interpret it, the importance, the first, there are, of course, since this is a Jewish text, there are, of course, a million ways to interpret it. Bye, Azza. Have fun at work. Obviously, it's not going to be as much fun as being here, but work is important because, you know, when you get work, you get money, and then money can buy pizza. So that's good. So one of the ways we interpret it is that this text tells us about how to educate children. And one of the main important messages from this text is that each child is different, and each different child needs to be educated in their own way. So basically, we do this every year, okay? We have the four children are the wise one, the wicked one, the simple one, and the one who doesn't know how to ask, or according whatever it says there. And then each of the kids asks a question and gets a different answer. So the wise child, or the one I like to call the wise-ass child, uses all these big words, and they're like, what are the testimonies and statutes and, you know, whatever, the judgments that the Lord our God commanded you? Like, this kid knows how to ask the question. You know, they're like, they know how to appeal to he sucks up a little bit. He's like, I'm really smart, listen to me, you know? And then he gets a very wise-ass answer, you know? Tell him the laws of the Passover sacrifice. We're not allowed to eat the afikomen after the Passover sacrifice. So we have to, you know, give him the little details, teach him the laws, teach him everything, right? Great. Then we have the wicked child who says, what is this worship to you? And then this question, for some reason, zooms in on the to you and not to him, which doesn't really make sense in English, but the truth is, maybe in English it does sound a little bit more intense, but in the Hebrew text, the wise kid and the wicked kid ask almost exactly the same question, word for word. And it's a little bit uncomfortable. You're like, you blunt his teeth and say to him, my Lord rescued me from Egypt and not you, and if he had been there, he would not have been redeemed, which is like, that's intense, you know, where, wait. Here we go. If he had been there, he would not have been saved. Like, yikes, you know, I mean, this is a kid we're talking about. That's the wicked child. And is this not, why is this jumping to the wrong place? Okay, sorry. Here, if he had been there, he would not have been saved. Anyway, the simple child, or the innocent child, that's the truth is that's the same. That word could be translated either way from Hebrew. The simple child asks, what is this? What is all this? There are all sorts of weird things at the Passover Seder. So like, why are we doing all this stuff? You know, why is there a bowl of pureed dates, wine, and nuts on the table? What is that for? You know, why is there a random bone on the plate that has been sitting there next to that parsley and salt water and egg? What is all this stuff? That's a really good question. And so you say, hey, you know, God rescued me from Egypt and God redeemed me from slavery. And here is the last of the 4 children, the one who doesn't know how to ask. Mood. The one who doesn't know how to ask, which is super important. You have to teach them anyway, because kids don't always necessarily know how to ask. And so for the one who doesn't know how to ask, you will open the conversation for him. Why do I keep on clicking that away? You will open the conversation for him, which is, you know, this is a really beautiful teaching. This is a really beautiful text. Like, not all kids are going to know how to ask. And so, but even if they don't know how to ask, you have to still have a conversation. You have to initiate the conversation. You're the adult, you know? And you can go really deep into this text and talk about how each one of the, you know, maybe they're, you know, the 4 sons are not actually 4 individual children. Maybe they resemble like the 4 different parts of us. Maybe all of us are all of the 4 sons, you know, maybe there are just different parts of us of being human. Maybe they are different types of students in school. Maybe they are, you know, I don't know, whatever. Jewish texts are just open to read it and then apply as needed. Like, apply it to your life in whatever way seems like it fits. Find a way to relate to it. And here's another, see, text where we're talking about engaging the kids in the ritual of Passover. We're literally analyzing how to engage all of the different kids. And so I think it's really cool. I really love this piece. And of course, you can sit around and talk about this text for hours and forget that everyone is actually hungry and tired, and there's a whole lot more text. It still needs to be analyzed. Yeah, so I've always been a smart ass. Yeah, see, so that's the fun thing. I've definitely been all these kids at some point, you know, at some point in my life. I was definitely the smart ass. You know, maybe they're the 4 Hogwarts houses, right? I mean, right? Except we've got like, right, the wise kid is Ravenclaw, right? The wicked kid is obviously Slytherin. Now, how would you divide the other 2? I would say Hufflepuff is probably the simple kid, and then Gryffindor is the one who doesn't know how to ask because they just do stuff anyway. And they just don't ask permission. They just do stuff, even if it's dangerous, you know? Okay, yeah, that's also an option. Hufflepuff doesn't know how to ask. Anyway, it's a really fun script. So some of this stuff is really fun. But when did we stop? Did anybody notice what time it was? We started at 9:15. Right? Such idiots. Oh my God. Anyway, there's a lot of text here, but this is a really fun text, and I really do encourage everybody to like go and look at it and like read it and think about it, because it's just really awesome. Like, I really love it. I love it so much. Honestly, read it. I'll link it for you in the comments or whatever. But the seder is really long, so let's keep going. Anyway, lots of script, lots of text, and we sing songs. This is freaking long, guys. Look, I'm just scrolling through. This is still Magid. Oh, yes. We say the 10 plagues. We recite the 10 plagues, and here's a fun thing. Hold on. I literally am going back to the table of contents to find it because of how long it is. Okay? Here they are. Okay? We say the 10 plagues. As we do, did you all pour your second glass of wine? I forgot to instruct, but you should have poured your second glass of wine by now. As we recite the 10 plagues, for each one, we dip our pinky into the glass of wine, and we take out a drop of wine, and we dip and we blot it onto a plate or a napkin. So we go blood, frogs, lice, wild beasts, pestilence, boils, hail, locusts, darkness, and the slaying of the firstborn. And what that is we, because of the suffering of the Egyptian people, we decrease a little bit of our joy in sympathy for the suffering of the people of Egypt, because that was a heck of a lot of suffering. I mean, this shit is not subtle. The river turning to blood, they couldn't drink for 7 days, frogs in everything, lice. I'm Israeli. Has any of you ever had lice? Let me tell you, it is not fun. I mean, it was bad, okay? Shit was bad. And then the death of all firstborns. Like, you know, it's, yeah. So we take a little bit of we spill a little bit of wine out of our cup for each one of these plagues to show to sympathize for the suffering of our enemies. Then we sing lots of songs, and we bang on the table real loud. And we sing loads of praise. Second cup of wine. Okay. When we finish all of the songs and all of the really long texts, we sing the second, we drink the second cup of wine. Is everybody ready for your second cup of wine? Okay. That's really funny. So when Americans get lice, it's like a plague, an actual plague. Kids go home. It's like you have to take a sick day. You have to like get purged. In Israel, you just ignore it. You just comb it out. And you go back to school and get reinfested the next day. And you just comb it out until you're 12, and kids don't touch heads as close anymore. Or you can dye your hair, and they don't like dyed hair, but it's just kind of a fact of life among little kids that they just have it. And you just have to comb them out and just send them back the next day and do it again. Fun fact. So, yes, and we sing Dayenu. I am not going to sing Dayenu. I sang Dayenu on 2 Zoom seders. And, when you have like 8 different cameras on a Zoom seder, all the singing is like in delay. So you're trying to sing together and it's just sort of everyone, it's like it ends up being around, even though it's unintentional. Hello, Hala. I haven't seen you here before, but I know that you are a friend of Cordy's. So hello and welcome to a mock Passover seder. We are drinking the second glass of wine. So is everyone ready? Take your glass of wine and recline with your writing buddy Unicorn and drink your wine. And bless the Lord. Wait. Bless the Lord. And then I think it's time for another sprint. Do you agree? Wait, do you agree that it's time for another sprint? Drinking, reclining. Thank you, Lord, for our freedom. Thank you for taking us out of Egypt. Thank you for rescuing us from the bonds of slavery, which was really, really terrible. Really terrible. L'chaim. Okay, good. You think that's most of my glass? We have to go a little more. Okay. Do not pour your third glass yet. We actually have a really fun tradition at my mom's where people don't pour their own wine. Everyone pours the wine for someone else. It's just kind of a nice thing, it's like a nice gesture where we care for each other, and we it's a symbol of luxury. So get ready for a sprint, and when the sprint is over, it'll be time to eat the matzahs. Are you ready? On your mark, get set, go. So, stop. Excellent question. Till I get tired. I don't know. We're only just drank our second cup of wine, and we got 2 more to go. So like, I'd say probably at least another hour. So stick around. We'll do more sprints and more Passover shenanigans. So how did everybody do? No way. I did 70 words again. QWERTY, you got 10 times as many words as I did. Yes, get your wine. I have these 2 plots, these 2 like different plot lines in my book, and I'm just so much more interested in the other plot that I'm not working on right now. The scene that I just finished earlier, I'm like super interested in. I'm super psyched for that plot line, and this one I'm like, meh. I mean, I get it, that's important, but like, do we have to work on it? Like, do we have to write it? Like, come on. But yes, we do, apparently. Hey, that's more on me. Awesome. Yeah, well, distractions do in fact happen. They do. So, we drank our second cup of wine. Bless the Lord, which means it's time to start eating the stuff. Nice. Well done. 77 words. That's 7 more than I did. Double checking. Yeah, okay. Well, hey, you know what? Checking the timeline is really important. You can, I had to copy and paste so many scenes in my first draft and like reorder things so many times, and then just because the timeline was all messed up. So this is advisable. So where were we? We did the second cup, right? Okay. So now we wash our hands. We have this we wash our hands and we bless God for commanding us to wash our hands. You know, apparently, I don't know where I heard this from, but I did hear it from somewhere. Apparently, there were like anti-Semitic conspiracies that blamed the Jews for the Black Plague. Now, of course, there are always anti-Semitic conspiracies that blame the Jews for everything because, you know, the same way the gays are responsible for tornadoes and earthquakes and tsunami, so are the Jews responsible for plagues and such. So there was a conspiracy that blamed the Jews for the Black Plague, which is not surprising because we are the Jews. And one of the reasons for the like solid reasons behind this conspiracy was that actually Jews did not die at the same rate that like non-Jews did in Europe. And that probably has something to do with the fact that our religion literally incorporates mandatory washing of the hands, which is not something people necessarily did during the time of the Black Plague. But since Jews kind of always have done that, it is entirely possible that that did sort of protect us a little bit from the plague. So we bless the Lord for commanding us to wash our hands. Praise be. Now we can eat. So it is now matzah time. Ugh, all the male pronouns in this Haggadah. We really got to get a different one. So who asked about flatbread before? Was that Key? Here's a funny thing. So we discussed that the reason we eat this flat stuff is because we were running from Egypt and like Pharaoh was chasing us, and Pharaoh had an army and we were just a nation of slaves and we didn't really have a lot. And because we were in a hurry, we didn't have time to let our bread rise, which, as discussed with wild yeast, can take several days. So we didn't let the bread rise, and therefore the bread we eat on Passover is flat. This stuff is Ashkenazi matzah. And there are different types of Jews in the world that descended from, that just evolved in different locations on the planet. And some types of Sephardic Jews, especially Yemenite Jews, actually eat like soft, like pita type matzah. It's just, it's flat and it's not risen, but it's not like this tasteless cardboard cracker, which is really, really nasty. I mean, bad. This shit is bad. It is gross. I mean, like, okay, truth is, if you put stuff on it, it can taste pretty good. Like, you can dip this stuff in Nutella, and that's like one of the most classic Passover snacks. But like, for a grilled cheese, forget it. This is absolute crap, and it does not hold a hamburger very well. So, yeah. Okay, awesome, cook. That's great. Yes. So there are a lot of different traditions, and Judaism is a worldwide practiced religion, and this is only one type, all very hot and shirtless for a lot of the movie. Just saying. Not that is not the trick with matzah is in order for anything, for something to be kosher for Passover, here is the rule. It has to be, oh no, the video froze. Oh no! What happened? Is it better now? Is it better now? I see there is the delay. Of course, yeah. I got a text earlier from Xfinity that was saying that we're having like a lot of really wild wind in Massachusetts, and so that might be like disrupting stuff. Yay! So what I was saying is that the rule for the matzah is, in order for it to be considered kosher to eat on Passover, or kosher for Passover, it has to be from the moment the water touches the flour in the dough until it is fully cooked and out of the oven, has to be under 18 minutes. 18. That is the magic number. 18 minutes. So my mom and I made matzah one year. We tried to make matzah one year. It didn't work very well. But you have to work pretty darn fast. Like, you have to really sort of have everything prepared, and then as soon as you dump the water into the batter, you press the 18-minute timer, you mix it, you knead it, you whatever you do, you toss it onto the pizza stone, which is, of course, your specially kosher for Passover only pizza stone, because it's very strict. And as soon as the timer goes off, you pull it out of the oven and you got what you got. So that's the matzah. It's and in a really weird, like, it's not just that we actively eat flat bread on Passover. We also avoid eating anything that is not flat on Passover. So anything that takes longer than 18 minutes to cook from water flour contact to fully baked is considered chametz, which is a Hebrew word which is derived from the root that means like for sourdough to rise. And so basically anything that has yeast in it, anything that is from one of the 5 grains, okay? So here's what Jews are not allowed to eat on Passover. Anything that is made from wheat, barley, spelt, oats, or rye, those are the 5, that has leavened or risen and therefore over more than 18 minutes. Or is just risen in general, okay? Because like, for example, my mom's pizza dough only takes about 10 minutes to cook, but it has yeast in it and therefore it is leavened bread and therefore forbidden, very sadly, on Passover. So basically, no pizza dough, no chicken pot pie crust, no pizza. Did I mention no pizza? It's really sad. No bagels, no bread. No bread, no tortillas, no tacos, no crackers, no saltines. You asked about saltines, right? No saltines. Although I do have a bag of corn chips in the kitchen that are okay. Why? Because corn is not one of the 5. So anything that's made out of corn flour, and here's where the ancient tradition of the loophole comes in. You can make flour out of tons of things. So this is what Jews do on Passover. We make legit bread out of potato flour and rice flour and corn flour and almond flour and coconut flour and whatever else you can make flour out of, which is a lot of things. So that's the matzah. What time is it? I'm starting to get more distracted because it's I'm already on 2 cups of wine, guys. Okay. Okay. Let's do our next sprint at 10:35. And then we'll go quickly through these next things. Okay. Maror is ritual eating of bitter herbs. We eat bitter herbs to remind ourselves of the bitterness of life in slavery and to remember the suffering of our people and to empathize with those people in the world who are not free yet, who are not yet free. Because and to then do our best to set those people free. And freedom, obviously is a metaphor for a lot of things, but this is a very meaningful thing. Yes, I'm Israeli. I don't live in Israel now, but I'm currently in Massachusetts for a temporary, undetermined amount of time. I got here in September, and I'm just here to keep my Nana company, which was a very timely thing for the pandemic. So I'm really glad that she doesn't have to be by herself to deal with all this crap. Yes. So now some people get really nerdy about it. Like my parents always they like take raw horseradish and they'll just like eat it straight up. I'm not one of those people. I go with plain lettuce, which, you know what? When you eat plain lettuce by itself, it can be pretty bitter. It was really gross. I had it last week. But we dip it into this paste or this salad, depending on if you're Ashkenazi or Sephardic, which is called charoset. I don't know if you can see that on the screen. Yes, you should dip it into the maror, shake off the charoset, and make a blessing. And cat without reclining. Oh no, it says eat, doesn't it? It definitely looks like it says cat. Okay. It's like, what? I didn't know that a cat, there is a cat in the Passover seder, but it's not here. trivia question. Where is the cat in the Passover seder? So we dip the maror into charoset, which is a paste that is supposed to resemble the mortar that we had to make when we were, in our slave days, mixing bricks to build Pharaoh's pyramids. It's all very symbolic. All the food is very symbolic. Anyway, bitter herbs. We do not recline when we eat the bitter herbs because reclining freedom, bitter herbs not freedom. Okay. Then we make a sandwich. Not yet. Not yet. Yes. Yes, they are. Tell me it didn't look like it said cat on that. Like, look at this. Look at this word and tell me that that doesn't say cat. Okay? Oh no. Okay. Anyway, so we eat the matzah, and then we eat the maror, the bitter herbs, and then we make a sandwich because one rabbi did this one time, and ever since then we do that. That is so interesting. I have never heard that. That is very symbolic and totally very, very Jewish. Very Jewish. But I think that is a nice metaphor interpretation of it. I don't think that. Yes, no, obviously the flour itself is not what makes it wrong. This stuff is made of flour too. People forget that matzah is made of flour. It's the leavening process that makes it unkosher for Passover. Not yet. Okay, I already answered that. Anyway, we make it into a sandwich because this one rabbi did it long ago, and so ever since we do that. Now we eat the dinner. We eat and drink, or we cat and drink, depending on how many cups of wine you've had. Now, when we're done eating, we do the search for the afikomen, and if you're at my grandmother's house, it's hidden in the piano bench. So you find it in the piano bench, and you try to, bargain with your parents to give you some sort of afikomen prize. I got the cat. Okay. The cat, I forgot to tell you what my secret was. I guess I'll reveal it at the end of the next sprint. Yes, you hold it hostage. Exactly. You hold the afikomen hostage, not the cat. We don't hold the cat hostage. I will tell you where we will get to the cat. The cat is at the very, very end. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, we're going to do another sprint. I think I'm ready for 15-minute sprints. My focus is I've had 2 cups of wine now, so I'm not focusing enough for 20-minute sprints. That's just freaking long. Okay, so we're going to do a short sprint, and and when we come back, I will tell the secret that I promised to tell you about the wine, and we will discuss where the cat comes in, and then we will get to the part where we pour and eat the 3rd glass of wine. Your marks, get set. 3, 2, 1, right. Words, I can do that. Come on, it's nothing. It's a paragraph. We're back. Hey, I got my daily goal. Whoa! Why aren't you dancing? Becca got 75K! 75,000 words! That is awesome. That is awesome. I love it when you can like start to smell the end. You're like, oh my God, I'm almost there. I'm almost there. And your hands like start to move faster because they're like, come on, come on, come on. We got to get there. We're almost there. We're almost there. Just a little bit more. We're almost there. Anyway, that's really fun. Awesome. I'm so proud of you. I did words. I got 131 words. When I finished the last sprint, I needed like 200 something to get to my daily nano goal. Oh, 157. So I got 131. So I only need, I have a fucking degree in this. 26 more words to get to my daily nano goal. Nice job, Hala. Well done. That is 2 more cats than I have right now at the moment. Although I do have a unicorn. So, you know, you win some, you lose some. So what did I say I was going to say? I said, oh, okay. I said I was going to reveal the secret of the wine, right? Which is, of course, exactly what you thought it was. I've been drinking spiked grape juice. I have like, you guys think I'm getting drunk? It's been this much grape juice and like this much wine. Okay. I'm barely even drinking at all. Wait. Let me go back to the Passover seder. I think we're going to do I'm actually not sure if I have the energy for another sprint. Maybe we can do one more sprint. I do need 26 more words. So we'll have another sprint. As soon as we finish the seder, which is very soon. So we bargained with our whoever is leading the Passover seder, and we eventually they named a good price, and we gave them back the afikomen. So, have I ever told you what my mom says about this show? My mom says she can't watch Fauda because she sees, you know, usually you see actors are like, you know, playing characters in real life. She says, it looks like when I'm watching Fauda, it looks like actors on TV playing what my son does. My brother is not in the army actually anymore, but he got discharged in August, and he was like in one of the most elite combat units of the IDF, which was kind of an intense experience for my mom. So yeah. Anyway, I'm going to go. It's time to fill our third cup, because check it out. We pour the third cup, and now we recite the grace for meals, but we don't drink. So we pour the wine, and then we say the blessing, and then we drink the wine when we're done. I think I'm going to skimp on this. I'm going to not drink. I don't think I can manage 2 more cups. I really don't. I really don't. I usually don't. This is not like a surprising. I'm the size of a pixie. Have any of you guys seen me in real life? No, you've only seen me from the shoulders up, okay? So you don't actually know how short I am. I'm short. So we pour the wine. We praise the Lord. And then rude. You know, the Jew card can never be revoked, even if you convert to Christianity because you were tortured into it. Even if you convert, you're still like officially still a Jew, according to like whoever cares about that stuff. Like, yeah. So praise the Lord for giving us food. And now, here's a fun thing. Here we go. Third cup of wine. Blessed for creating the fruit of the vine. We drink. And, okay. Now, this is a highly controversial part of this paragraph is highly controversial because it kind of basically asks God to basically it's asking God to pour out all of his anger on other nations that are not the Jews. And so, for obvious reasons, there are denominations that choose not to recite this paragraph. Honestly, I don't even remember what we did this year. I think we probably skipped it at my house. Now, here's the interesting thing. By the time you've had 3 cups of wine, the sages assume you're not going to do anything else except for sing. So the entire remainder of the seder is 100% in song. I swear, this is 100% the truth. So from now on, everything is going to be in song. But no, definitely, it's definitely not. It's definitely not. But we do an entire chapter of like officially praising God because we are incredibly grateful for being released from slavery. You have no idea how relevant that is. You have no idea. Okay. No. Okay. So just hold on to that. It's going to be really funny, okay? So we pour the 4th cup, right? And the 4th cup, when do we drink the 4th cup? Now I don't even remember. Anyway, we praise God a lot. God, you are great. Thank you, God, for rescuing us. You are the best. God is the best. Best. Thank you, God. We are grateful. You are the best, God. This is a lot of really elaborate praise for God. Oh, 4th cup of wine. All right. We drink the 4th cup while reclining to the left. You don't know that this is not vodka. It's not vodka. Because vodka is not kosher for Passover, but it could be vodka. It could be potato vodka. But, fun thing. Remember we said that like leavened bread and stuff is not permitted? Well, neither is beer. Blessed, recline to the left. Lol, this is water. Anyway, okay. To the left. It's true. So now we basically now we sing a lot of songs because of our joy. And because we are definitely all drunk. That is a really good question. Yeah, so kosher in general, yes. Kosher for Passover is a different question, but also probably yes. Bottle of vodka made from oranges. Ooh, cool. Is it leavened? Yes, anything that is not a leavened product, so a product that is from one of the 5 grains, wheat, barley, wheat, barley, spelt, oats, and rye, right? That has been like left to rise. Okay, you should suspect anything that's a carbohydrate. You should suspect anything that's a carbohydrate. So like if it's like, okay, so like pretzels, no, but like fruits and vegetables are fine. Any dairy product is fine, but like granola, so you can have your yogurt, but like granola is a big question because usually granola is made with oats, so no. But you know, it's a whole like question. Hi, Devin, you missed all 4 cups of wine, but obviously their effects remain to be witnessed. So we are now praising the Lord for taking us out of Egypt. And they were very large glasses, and it was definitely wine. I swear it was wine. He's she's right. She's right. You should listen to her. Anyway, so we sing and we ask for God to let us have the seder in Jerusalem next year. And this is a thing that I have some complaints about, because as a person who did live in Jerusalem for quite a long time, I need to request, please, for people to stop praying for Jerusalem to be built, because the noise from the construction is driving me insane. So please, Jerusalem is built plenty. Please stop. Okay, thank you. Anyway, this year there were a lot of jokes about, hey, next year in person, lol, next year we can have our seders face to face, because people did this whole thing, this whole ordeal, like over Zoom with all their family members. So, and that's a lot of like really drunk, delayed singing, a lot. Okay. And so do you think we haven't tried this? We made multiple pillow forts. That would be way quieter. Yes, I approve this message. So next year in Jerusalem, this Nirtza is the final step of the Seder, and it's basically a whole collection of like traditional songs. And so this is the Ashkenazi version, but because this is the version that I grew up with, but you know, you pick your own songs that you are that whatever your parents taught you. But here are the very last 2 are the fun ones. Okay. Sfilata Omer. Oh my God. That's right. Some people do this on the second night of Pesach. I've only ever been to first night seders. It didn't even occur to me. Weird. Okay. I'm going to skip that because it's just, I'm Israeli. We don't do that. Okay. Echad mi yodea. This song. Oh my God. Okay. Here's the translation. This is a counting backwards song, because this is what we do. This is what we do when we're drunk. We count backwards and we sing very loudly as we do it. So who knows one? Here's the song. Wait, let me show you the lyrics. Very, very deep, excellent lyrics. Who knows one? I know one. One is our God in the heavens and the earth. And then who knows 2? I know 2. 2 are the tablets of the covenant, right? The tablets that Moses received from God with the 10 commandments. Okay, so 2 are the tablets and 1 is God. Okay, who knows 3? I know 3. 3 are the patriarchs and 2 are the tablets and 1 is God. 4 are the matriarchs and 3 are the tablets and 3 are the patriarchs and 2 are the tablets and 1 is God. And I think there's a song. I don't there is a melody to the English version of this. I only know the Hebrew melody, but there is a yes. I've seen this cartoon. Yes, it's funny. So there's a melody that goes like, this is like basically they chant this. Anyway, this song goes all the way up to 13. So where they're like, let's see. And there are hand motions. So it's like Who knows 13? I know 13. 13 are the characteristics. I definitely don't know the hand signals for that. Anyway, 12 are the tribes, and 11 are the stars, and 10 are the commandments, and 9 are the months of pregnancy. Birth is like a euphemism. And 8 are the days of circumcision. We do this. And 7 are the days of the week, because it's days that then we rest. And then 6 are the books of the Mishnah, and 5 are the books of the Torah, and 4 are the mothers, and 3 are the fathers, because mothers are the swaddlers and fathers are the studies. Of course, the feminist version reverses those. We do 4 are the mothers, and 3 are the fathers, and 2 are the tablets that Moses brought, and 1 is our God in the heavens and the earth. That is a very fun song. And we do it while banging on the table very loud. And in my house, each time we sing the backwards, all of them backwards, we sing it faster. And so we go faster and faster and faster until it's just all gibberish and none of us can pronounce any of the words anymore. Drunk Jews. Now, do you remember I said that there was a cat? That definitely says cat. Right? I am not drunk. That says cat. I swear. So this is the very, very last thing that appears in the Passover Seder playbook. And the song is Chad Gadya, or one goat, or one kid. One kid, I think one kid is funnier because it's like one kid. My father bought a kid for 2 zoos, haha, lol, jokes. Anyway, so it tells the story of a goat. My father bought a goat for 2 zoos. Then came a cat and ate the kid that my father bought for 2 zoos. One kid. Then came a dog and bit the cat that ate the kid that my father bought for 2 zoos. It's basically, I know an old lady who swallowed a fly, right? You feed a kid to your cat. Exactly. Exactly this. This is deep philosophical questions. This is what Judaism is really about. Is God is everywhere. God is inside our souls and in all of the wonders in the world. And yes, God is in space. The heavens includes space. Yes. Mars, that's interesting. Like, I don't know if that would be considered Earth. It's like not Earth officially. It's a different planet, but like it's like contained in the heavens. It's all complicated, but like, yes. Anyway, the cat. So the cat ate the kid, right? Okay, there came a dog and bit the cat that ate the kid that my father bought for 2 zoos. One kid. Then came a stick and hit the dog that bit the cat that ate the kid that my father bought for 2 zoos. Then came a fire and burnt the stick that hit the dog that bit the cat that ate my father's goat. Then this is real. This is real. These are really no. This is ridiculous. This song is ridiculous. It is real. The heavens and his throne are his throne, and the earth is his footstool. That is from some kind of Jewish text. I'm thinking of it in Hebrew now, and I'm trying to place it. It's from some kind of prayer. I'm not sure what. Passover is lit, except for the not eating bread part, which I am not entirely cool with because I have a very carb-heavy diet, and I'm a very picky eater, and I'm very sensitive to like sensory stuff. And you know what? I like pizza. I don't like that I have to go an entire week without eating it. That makes me sad. That definitely makes sense. Yes, that makes sense. Anyway, where were we? So we had the stick, right? Oh, fire burnt the stick, right? Okay, anyway, then came water and extinguished the fire that burnt the stick that hit the dog that bit the cat that ate my father's goat. And then came a bull and drank the water that extinguished the fire that burnt the stick that hit the dog that bit the cat that ate my father's goat. This escalates really fast, okay? Then came a shochet. A shochet is a butcher, maybe? A person who, like, you know, slaughters animals and then, like, sells their meat. And anyway, so this guy came and slaughtered the bull that drank the water that extinguished the fire that burnt the stick that hit the dog that bit the cat that ate my father's goat. Then came the angel of death and slaughtered the shochet, who slaughtered the bull that drank the water that extinguished the fire that burnt the stick that hit the dog that bit the cat that ate my father's goat. Is that the end? No, it is not. There is one more stage. Then came the Holy One. Blessed be they. Because God's pronouns are they, them. They really need to update this. And slaughtered the angel of death, who slaughtered the shochet, who slaughtered the bull that drank the water, that extinguished the fire, that burnt the stick, that hit the dog, that bit the cat, that ate my father's kid. One kid. The end. Passover is over. Okay, no, Passover is not over. The seder is over. At this point, everyone just goes to sleep and nobody definitely stays up to do the dishes. Yes. Anyway, congratulations. You have all now attended your first sort of Passover seder. So why number 5? Yes, there are people who do this. I've never heard of it, but yes, there definitely are. I've never actually sung this on Passover. It was a nursery rhyme, one of my favorite child. That is, yeah. So it's, yeah, we sing it every year. There's, I'm trying to think if I'm not. My brother does a really funny rendition of it where he like mimics like a style of Sephardic chazanut where they like do a lot of trills in their voice and it's really funny, and it is exactly that type of script. Anyway, yes. But so now here's the thing, right? Some people definitely do a shortened version of this, and they certainly don't, spend an hour and a half telling the story of Passover, which like we do at my house, or maybe 1 hour, a full hour, like discussing the deep details of it. But if they do, that song can be sung anywhere from like 1 a.m. till dawn. And there are definitely households that sing it at each time. That song is the witching hour song. It is sung, belted very loudly late into the night. Nobody has any expectation of quiet or sleep on this night until, things get quiet in the house. Like it's like, it's going to be loud. You're going to hear the neighbors singing. They're going to be thumping on their tables until 2 a.m. And so that is the Passover Seder. And here's the funny thing, right? In Israel, we do that on the first night. Then we go to sleep. And then, okay, for the rest of the holidays, like, all right, we wake up and we have this with our eggs instead of toast. But in America and other parts of the diaspora, they do this all again. They do it twice. We never made it until dawn, but I just spoke to someone. So we had a friend of mine join our Zoom Seder with my mom on Wednesday. And she said that was the first time she had ever been to a Seder that was over before dawn. And I was like, what? And here, and I was going through my cards. This is what this is really for, right? Remember my game that I talked about, slightly scandalous seder cards. So yeah, that is accurate. That is accurate. So one of the cards that I have in this set is belting Chad Gadya at 2 a.m. And my copy editor, who was like straight up 100% American Jew living in the Boston area, said to me, "What is this about?" And I was like, "What do you mean? You've never belted Chad Gadya at 2 a.m.? You know, like when the seder's over and you're all wired and you're like, yeah, you know, it's funny. It's like, you know, Chad Gadya, you're happy, you're finally through it all." And she's like, "Yeah, but we do it at like 10 o'clock at the latest." I was like, "What?" But 10 o'clock, we're not even halfway. We haven't even gotten to the 4 sons by 10 o'clock. You know? 10 o'clock. My mom forced us all to take naps. Since I was a little kid, she would force us to take naps on Passover Eve. So we would be awake to make it through like till dinner, you know, 10:30, 11. That's when you eat dinner. 10:30, I think, usually is when we eat dinner. Yay! Yes, buy this. buy this game. Allow me to link you to my online store. Because it is awesome. Unfortunately, the delivery of the physical copies of the game is temporarily delayed due to stupid Corona reasons. But the digital file, the print and play, is available online. And I just yesterday released a bonus coronavirus pack. It's called The Plague. Lol. And it's really funny. And so the Corona pack is digital only, so you can be delivered directly to your home. And one of my favorite question cards is in there, which is, what can we use instead of toilet paper? And there are a lot of options. There are a lot of options. Also, the cards. This is a tiny, a short minute of self-promotion here. These are my cards. These are all the test cards that I was trying out for the new year. So remember what chametz is? Chametz is any type of food that is like from leavened bread or leavened product that we're not allowed to eat on Passover. So this card is chametz on you, chametz on your cow, chametz on your whole family. And I am very proud of that. And in the Corona pack, I put a kingdom of isolation. So craving plain white bread. These are my test cards. This is relatable, guys. Coming home to see the pet and politely tolerating everyone else. You know what I mean? Anyway, and the sheer amount of people that slept here last night. Because it's what happens when the Passover Seder is over. You've just had 5 or 6 hours of a very, very intense, Jewish discussion and analysis of texts, eating all sorts of random foods, a big brisket matzo ball soup dinner, and 4 cups of wine and dessert. And then generally there are a lot of people crashing on all of the couches and probably the floor. People go to sleep. People go to sleep all over the house. That's tradition. So, yes. What's every day for you? Coming home to see the pet and politely tolerating everyone else? Yeah. Ooh, being a vampire during the Plague of Blood. Is this good or bad, Would that be awesome or challenging? Discuss. Anyways, thank you very much for coming to my stream. Did I say we were going to do another sprint? I lied. I'm very tired. I had like 2 splashes of wine. So that is really smart. I didn't even think of that. That'd be awesome. I'm very glad you learned a lot. And I hope you also enjoyed yourself and that it was productive. And I think I have another one next week, but it's not going to be on Passover because Passover is actually over on Wednesday. So, last fun fact, right? My birthday, my Hebrew birthday, so my birthday according to the Hebrew calendar is actually the last day of Passover. Now, in America, because this is where I was born, in Massachusetts. But, I love a Cordy stream too, so it's mutual. So I was born right around the corner from where I'm sitting, and in this land, the diaspora, Passover is 8 days long. So the last day of Passover is the 8th day of Passover, and that's the day I was born. But in Israel, Passover is only 7 days. So when we moved to Israel, my birthday turned from a Passover day to a non-Passover day. So we went from eating kosher for Passover, gluten-free or matzah meal cake on my birthday to celebrating my birthday by making legit real pizza the minute Passover is out, which is a way better way to celebrate my birthday. So I actually really got a bonus for moving to Israel, which is eating real leavened products on my birthday. So thank you very much for joining me. I had a very good time, as you probably see. And I did also write quite a lot of words. My book was, I got to 11,500 words in my book, and I think I wrote, it says 113% of daily goal, and my daily goal is like 1333. So I'd say that's pretty good. That's like, wait, let's see how many words I wrote. What did we say that was? That last sprint was like 100 and something. Candlelight, 131. We have 1,500 words for the day, which is awesome. So on that note, I totally forgot to talk about that we pour a glass of wine for Elijah the prophet, who is a ghost. This is a thing we do. Discuss. Have a happy Passover. I am so glad you had a great time. 2017 was an okay year. I graduated, got my bachelor's degree then, so that was good. Yes, I'm really glad you found my stream too. And come back next week. I will not be drunk, but I'm still funny when I'm sober. So happy Nano, happy stuff. Yay, Bachelor twins. Bye.